Hello everybody, welcome to Pinnacle Online Coaching Classes. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss paper code 1009 for Tier 3, and this was an all India paper. It was open challenge. That means students from all over India participated in this challenge and we got a wonderful response. So first and foremost, thank you so much students for participating. Many students who were preparing for UPSC, even they participated in this because simultaneously they were appearing for SSC CGL also. So we had students across all the states in India who are working as bank POs, who are only preparing, who are even preparing for UPSC, different kinds of students participating. Thank you so much once again. And in this video, I'm going to discuss this paper with you. I'm going to discuss the toppers paper. I'm going to discuss the topic with you, the letter that was given. So All India Open Challenge Destiny is going to be discussed in this video. Now first let us see who were our toppers. These were our toppers for paper code 1009. The topper was Jyoti Dwivedi from Sultanpur in UP. She has written in the Hindi medium. Congratulations Jyoti, and she has got 83 marks. Jyoti was neither the topper in the essay nor the topper in the letter. Okay, there were other people who scored more than her individually in the essay and in the letter, but both her essay and letter were good, and that's the reason that she became the overall topper. Then we have Girish Kumar. Girish Kumar is from Guntur in Andhra Pradesh. He is in the second position in the overall category and he has scored 82 marks. Very good Girish, although he was the topper for the essay writing. Is only for the essay. Then we have Ravi Singh. Ravi Singh is from Gurugram and Ravi Singh has scored 81 marks. 81 marks. Congratulations Ravi. Abhijit Sen, basically from Assam, residing in Mukherjee Nagar in Delhi. Well, I would like to say that a lot of students from the Mukherjee Nagar area, Delhi University area have joined our Tier 3 program and some of them are writing fabulously. Abhijit Sen is one of them. Abhijit Sen has scored 80.5 marks. And then we have Manish Dwivedi. Manish Dwivedi, he is a student from the Hindi medium. Jyoti Dwivedi and Manish Dwivedi are from the Hindi medium. He is from Madhya Pradesh and he has got 80 marks. Girish, Ravi and Abhijit are from the English medium. Okay, so congratulations to all the toppers. All the best to you. May you do very well on the test on 19th. Not just you, all our other students may do very well. Congratulations. And now let's move on to the toppers paper. This is Jyoti Dwivedi's paper. She's got 83 marks, her roll number, her paper code, and all this is for you Jyoti. Congratulations once again. Now let us take a look at on what parameters marks were allocated. Relevancy, there were a lot of students who wrote a lot of things that were irrelevant for this topic, but she wrote a very nice essay, and for relevancy 5 marks were there. Spelling and grammar 10 marks. Word limit 5 marks, have you exceeded or not. Then content quality, whether what you are writing, does it reflect that a sensible mature person, a 23-24 year adult has written it, or does it reflect a maturity. All those kind of things were assessed under content quality. Even for the exam that SSC is going to conduct, this is going to be given the maximum weightage, contents quality. Then format, did you make separate paragraphs, were they clearly visible, or did the examiner have to search your paragraphs in your essay. All those kind of things under format. If you have written in box format, have you used the boxes well, or is it that your words are crossing the lines. All those parameters. Okay, then writing neat and clean. Did the examiner had to widen his eyes larger to read what you have written? Did he have to read it again and again? Then we had effective sentences, which showed how well you have a control over your sentence structure. What kind of words do you use? Do you use idioms and phrases? Do you use right words in the appropriate places? All that was assessed under effective sentences. And finally, was there a flow in your essay? Did it seem that when you moved from one paragraph to the other, was there transition, or it just seemed that everything was scattered? All these kind of things. So total 60 marks were divided this way. 5 marks for relevancy, spelling grammar 10 marks, word limit 5 marks, contents quality 20, format, writing, effective sentences and cohesiveness were all given 5 marks each. And this time there were a lot of students who even scored more than 50 to 53. There were around 7 to 8 students, I wouldn't say a lot, but there were quite a few who scored 47 plus, 45 plus, and we are very happy to see that our students are doing well and gradually there is a good improvement in their writing skills. Similarly, for the letter relevancy 4 marks, spelling and grammar 4 marks, word limit 4 marks, content quality 12, format 4, then writing neat and clean 4, effective sentences 4 and cohesiveness. So these were the various parameters. Broadly on similar parameters even SSC is going to judge you. Maybe there's going to be a different term being used there, but these are the things which SSC is also going to look for in your papers. Now let us see what were the questions. These were the two questions. In section A, you had to write an essay in 250 words and marks were 60. Write an essay in about 250 words, 60 marks, and you were given one topic, that is cultural nationalism and Sanskritik Rashtravad. This was the topic given to you, and we got quite a few papers where we could clearly make out that the student has not understood the topic. There were students who kept beating about the bush, who kept talking about a lot of irrelevant things. They could not come to the point, and I am going to share with you various papers from different students, paragraphs from their papers, lines from their papers, which will clearly make the meaning of the given topic clear to you. Sometimes you focus so much on gathering irrelevant data, on gathering books, but you do not focus on writing. There are so many students who still mail us and keep saying, please send me data about this topic, about that topic. I'm going to just mug it up, and now when I share these papers with you, you will realize that it is writing which is more important and not just mugging up data, because sometimes you might just mug up data and then you do not know where to apply it. Okay, so cultural nationalism was the topic, and let us see section B now. In section B, write a letter to the police commissioner for security request in organizing a seminar on sex education in your college, as you are receiving threat calls to disturb the function from radical organizations. You are a principal in that college. Read the question very, very carefully. Some of you have written on behalf of a principal, but he is the principal of a school. So please read your question carefully. 40 marks, 150 words. अपने कॉलेज में शिक्षा पर एक सेमिनार आयोजित करने के लिए पुलिस आयुक्त को सुरक्षा मुहैया कराने के लिए एक पत्र लिखें, क्योंकि आपको कट्टरपंथी संगठनों से समारोह को बाधित करने की धमकी मिल रही है और आप उस कॉलेज में एक प्रिंसिपल हैं, या आप उस कॉलेज के प्रिंसिपल हैं. दिस वाज द टॉपिक. नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू रीड both these paper to you. नाउ द टॉपिक इज सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद. अब देखते हैं ज्योति ने क्या लिखा है, और इन्होंने हमेशा की तरह जनरली इनकी कोट्स पर और पोइट्री पर बहुत अच्छी पकड़ है और उसको बहुत अच्छे से अपने पेपर में इस्तेमाल करती हैं. ये लिखती हैं, यूनान मिस्र रोम सब मिट गए जहां से, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी. जब आप ऐसी शुरुआत करेंगे तो जाहिर सी बात है कि एग्जामिनर का ध्यान अपनी ओर जरूर खींचेंगे और उसका मन करेगा कि मैं और आगे पढ़ूं. भारत पुरातन काल से ही एक सांस्कृतिक विरासत वाला देश रहा है तथा धर्म, रंग, जाति, पंथ की विविधता से यहाँ अनेक संस्कृतियों का समावेश है. सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद का तात्पर्य है अपने देश की संस्कृति एवं सभ्यता के प्रति सम्मान जो राष्ट्र को गौरवान्वित करता है. भारतीय संस्कृति बड़ों का सम्मान करने, विश्व बंधुत्व स्थापित करने, होली, ईद, क्रिसमस जैसे पर्वों को मनाने, गंगा जमुनी तहजीब को निभाने आदि में समाहित है. चाहे बात पेड़ों में जल डालने से पर्यावरण संतुलन स्थापित करने की हो या गाय एवं गंगा को माता का स्थान देकर उनका संरक्षण करने की हो, भारतीय संस्कृति ने हर उस आवश्यक विषय को अपने में समाहित किया है जिसका सम्मान करना प्रत्येक नागरिक का कर्तव्य है. अगर आप ध्यान से देखें तो फर्स्ट जो इनका पैराग्राफ है उसमें इन्होंने एक बहुत ही अच्छी पोइट्री से इन्होंने स्टार्ट किया स्टार्टिंग में, और उसके बाद एग्जैक्टली सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद क्या है उसकी इन्होंने परिभाषा दी. आगे जाकर हमारी संस्कृति में क्या क्या है, क्योंकि आपको ये तो बताना पड़ेगा कि हमारी संस्कृति में क्या क्या है, वो इन्होंने नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में क्लियरली बताया. उसके बाद ये बात आजकल चर्चाओं में क्यों है वो बताने की कोशिश की गई है, या इसका नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट क्या है. निसंदेह वर्तमान समाज में कुछ विकृतियां उत्पन्न हुई हैं. जब हम संस्कृति को राष्ट्रीय नहीं बल्कि सामाजिक आधार पर वर्गीकृत करते हैं तो वह एक चिंता का विषय बन जाती है. अन्यथा भारत ने तो बिस्मिल्लाह खां जैसी हस्तियों को भी जन्म दिया है जो 5 वक्त नमाजी भी थे और बाबा विश्वनाथ के दर्शन को भी जाते थे। आज समाज को यह समझने की आवश्यकता है। देखिए यहाँ पर नेगेटिविटी क्या है इन्होंने वो बताया, और फाइनली इनका जो लास्ट पैराग्राफ है उसमें ये कंक्लूड कर रही हैं और सजेशंस के साथ कंक्लूड कर रही हैं। अगर विषय ऐसा है कि जिसमें आप सजेशंस दे सकते हैं, सुझाव दे सकते हैं, तो केवल समस्याएं और दिक्कतों की तरफ ध्यान आकर्षित करना आपका काम नहीं है, सुझाव भी दीजिए, सुझाव भी दीजिए। आगे कहती हैं, आज समाज को यह समझने की आवश्यकता है कि सभी धर्म एवं पंथ जो भारतीय संस्कृति का अभिन्न अंग हैं, वे एक राष्ट्रीय और राष्ट्रीय एकता को प्रोत्साहित करते हैं। मनुष्य को यह समझना चाहिए कि वास्तव में जिस राष्ट्र की धरती ने हमें जन्म दिया है और जिस अंबर की हम पर छत्र छाया है, वही हमारी राष्ट्रीयता की पहचान है तथा 125 करोड़ देशवासियों को एक साथ उसे सम्मानित करने की दिशा में हर संभव प्रयत्न करना चाहिए। तो फाइनली एक पॉजिटिविटी के साथ कि धर्म वगैरह के आधार पर, अपनी संस्कृति के आधार पर आप उसको डिवाइड मत कीजिए, ये सुझाव के साथ इन्होंने खत्म किया। ठीक है, आगे हम इनका पत्र देखते हैं। पत्र देखिए, सेक्टर 12 स्वामी विवेकानंद पीजी कॉलेज सिविल लाइंस लखनऊ, और ये पिन कोड है 11 मार्च 2017। सेवा में पुलिस आयुक्त महोदय, पुलिस कार्यालय लखनऊ। विषय सुरक्षा मुहैया कराने हेतु। श्रीमान, मैं क.ख.ग. स्वामी विवेकानंद कॉलेज की प्रधान अध्यापिका हूँ तथा कॉलेज परिवार ये परिवार है, दिनांक 15 मार्च 2017 को कॉलेज परिसर में सेक्स शिक्षा पर एक सेमिनार आयोजित कराने की योजना बना रहा है, जिसके लिए शहर के सभी संबंधित विशेषज्ञों को प्राख्यान हेतु आमंत्रित किया गया है। देखिए इनका जब आप कुछ भी पढ़ते हैं ज्योति द्विवेदी द्वारा लिखा हुआ, आपको साफ पता चलता है कि भाषा पर कितनी अच्छी पकड़ है, कितने अच्छे अच्छे शब्दों का ये प्रयोग करती हैं। ठीक है, अब जो पत्र आप लिखेंगे उसमें ऑब्वियसली पहले पैराग्राफ में आप क्या बताएंगे, स्पष्ट रूप से 3 पैराग्राफ बनाइए। पहले वाले में आप बताइए कि मैं ये हूं और ये पत्र मैं आपको क्यों लिख रहा हूं। पत्र मैं इसलिए लिख रहा हूं क्योंकि हम 15 मार्च 2017 को कॉलेज परिसर में सेक्स शिक्षा पर एक सेमिनार आयोजित करने की योजना बना रहे हैं। ठीक है, तो इन्होंने बता दिया। नंबर 2 जो आपका पैराग्राफ होगा उसमें आप थोड़ा विस्तार पूर्वक बताइए। ठीक है, थोड़ी अगर किसी समस्या की ओर ध्यान खींचना चाहते हैं थोड़ा विस्तार पूर्वक बताइए। आगे ये कहती हैं, जब से यह सूचना कुछ कट्टरपंथियों संगठनों में के संज्ञान में आई है, तब से धमकी भरे फोन कॉल का सिलसिला प्रारंभ हो गया है। उनका मानना है कि यह समाज में अश्लीलता का प्रचार है। मान्यवर, जिस प्रकार से सामाजिक व्यवस्था असंतुलित हो रही है तथा खासकर बच्चियों की अस्मिता खतरे में है, साथ ही बालकों को भी किशोरावस्था जो एक तूफान की अवस्था होती है, उसके प्रति जागृत करने की अत्यधिक आवश्यकता है। तो इन्होंने सेकंड पैराग्राफ में सारा बताया। अतः मेरा आपसे विनम्र निवेदन है कि कार्यक्रम संचालन हेतु 15 मार्च 2017 को कॉलेज को सुरक्षा प्रदान करने की कृपा करें। धन्यवाद, भवदीय क.ख.ग. प्रधान अध्यापिका। ठीक है, अब देखिए, न तो ये इंडिविजुअली लेटर में टॉपर हैं और न ही इंडिविजुअली ये ऐसे में टॉपर हैं, लेकिन दोनों चीजें इन्होंने बहुत अच्छी लिखी। अगर आप इनका पेपर ध्यान से देखें, आप क्या देखते हैं, लिखाई बेहद खूबसूरत। ठीक है, स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स, ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स बिल्कुल भी नहीं, सही शब्दों का प्रयोग, बॉक्सेस का बहुत ही अच्छा इस्तेमाल, साफ सुथरा पेपर, ये सारी चीजें जो हैं कि ये इंडिविजुअल टॉपर भी नहीं है, इसके बावजूद ये हमारी ओवरऑल टॉपर बनी। ठीक है, तो आप इन सभी चीजों पर छोटी छोटी चीजें जो है आप दूसरे स्टूडेंट से जो सीख सकते हैं और उनको अपने लिए अपना सकते हैं, उनको आप अपनाइए। ठीक है, जैसे इन्होंने लेटर लिखा, इसमें बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ने और भी अच्छी अच्छी चीजें की हैं। जैसे उन्होंने कहा है कि सुरक्षा के लिए आप हमें 5 महिला पुलिसकर्मी भेज दीजिए, या इतने सैनिक हमारे लिए काफी होंगे, इस तरह की चीजें भी लिखी हैं। और आप अपने लेटर को, अपने ऐसे को और कैसे इंटरेस्टिंग बना सकते हैं, रोचक बना सकते हैं, वो जो चीजें हैं अब आप इन वीडियो से सीख सकते हैं। अब हम आगे चलते हैं अभिजीत सेन के पेपर पर, और एंड आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस 2 essays in English with you, complete essays. Okay, apart from that there will be many other inputs and many other passages from different papers being shared with you. Now I'm going to discuss Abhijit Sen's paper, and let us see what Abhijit Sen has to say. This is Abhijit Sen's paper, and he says cultural nationalism literally means a feeling of pride over the cultures and traditions of one's nation. People since the ancient past have always been respectful towards their national culture. Though it is commendable to hold one's traditional beliefs in high regards, however, we must not deplore the culture of others. Cultural nationalism has many advantages. Firstly, it creates integration among the citizens and brings them closer to each other. So, firstly, in the first paragraph, what has he talked about? He has talked about a feeling that we feel very proud about our culture and all those kind of things. He has exactly defined what is cultural nationalism. Then he talks about the positive aspect of cultural nationalism. Cultural nationalism has many advantages. Firstly, it ensures integration among the citizens. Since we are from the same culture, we feel brotherhood towards one another. We feel as if, the other person, we feel a kind of a connectivity. Okay. Then let's continue. He says, cultural nationalism has many advantages. Firstly, it creates integration among the citizens and brings them closer to each other. This feeling of shared nationality and common brotherhood brings unity among the countrymen. Secondly, this feeling of respect for one's country always encourages them to work for the progress of the country and earn the respect of others in the global arena. Thirdly, as a proud countryman, it is possible to share the cultural diversity across the people of the world. And then in the second paragraph, very nicely, he has talked about the advantages. Then he talks about the disadvantages, and this is the best paragraph of his essay where we have given him a good. What does he say? He says, however, it is extremely important to exercise some restraint in this feeling. This extreme love for your culture, we need to exercise restraint. He further says, it must never be confused with Zingoism and xenophobia. What is xenophobia? Xenophobia is fear of foreigners. People at times, especially in the Western countries, take too much pride in their culture and often blatantly look down upon others. They view foreign nationals with a xenophobic mentality and thus greatly hampers the spirit of globalization. Now, since he's talking about the negative aspect, he says if one is too much in love with their own culture and they do not accept others, there is no tolerance, then this is going to affect globalization. This kind of extreme view often hampers people. Let me just read this again. Where is it? It's here. The spirit of globalization. This kind of extreme views, it should be these here. These kind of extreme views often hampers people to people ties, which in turn can impede the progress and prosperity of one's own nation. In short, cultural nationalism truly brings people together to work for a common cause. However, the need of the hour is to exercise mildness over this feeling so as to work towards the cause of universal brotherhood as propounded by Swami Vivekananda. Now, what is the reason that I'm sharing Abhijit's paper with you? If you see, he does not use very big words in his vocabulary, right? But he has divided his essay very well. In the first paragraph, he talks about what it is. In the second paragraph, he talks about advantages. In the third paragraph, he talks about how it can take an extreme form also. And finally, he talks about the conclusion. Nice sentences, impressive, without using very big words. Some of you just keep thinking that I'm going to use very big words. No, it's not like that. So Abhijit, very good, thumbs up to you. Now I'm going to share the essay of Girish Kumar with you. Girish Kumar's essay with you. Girish Kumar has done very well in his essay, and I'm going to share his paper with you. Overall, he's got 82 marks. He's our second topper. And what is the beauty of his essay? The beauty of his essay is that in 250 words, without exceeding the word limit, he has tried to put in plenty of relevant points. See, we got a lot of essays where students kept talking about Indian culture. Okay, there were two words in the topic, cultural nationalism, and they just took culture. Our culture is to celebrate Diwali, celebrate Eid, celebrate Holi with love, with brotherhood, etc., etc. But was that really relevant? That could have been one paragraph in your essay, but could that have been the whole essay? If I gave you a topic on different cultures in India, you would have written the same thing. Okay, now let me read Girish's paper to you. Very good, Girish, you have done a good job. Now let us see this. What does he say? He begins his essay by something from current news, with the news about some right-wing political activists' attack on couples in Kerala on Women's Day grabbed the focus of the nation on cultural nationalism. It is a pride or idea of culture rather than ideology of whole nation. It is prevalent in the whole world. Okay. In India, being a Hindu dominant society, there were several incidents over the last few years which tried to project the values of our Hindu culture, which tried to project the values of our Hindu culture on other sections of society. It made issue regarding cow slaughter, JNU issue, and the latest Delhi University. This pattern of increasing cultural nationalism is not only seen in India, in fact the entire world. Now, the moment I read this paragraph about his essay, I immediately know that the student knows very well about current events. When we made our mentorship call to our students in the first round, then there were a lot of students who told me, ma'am, I read the newspaper. But you read the newspaper, that should be reflected from your essay rather than when you tell me verbally that, ma'am, I read the newspaper. Don't you think that the second paragraph of his essay has given him an edge over all other students who have not written anything? Why is cultural nationalism? If you ask me, cultural nationalism, is it a topic of the current? Does it have to include events from the recent past? Yes, it has to. It was in news during Donald Trump's election. What is the reason that Donald Trump came to power? Okay, so all these things have to be, why is it in news? It is in news because certain communities from particular countries, they feel their culture is better and they are trying to impose it on the minorities or on other people who may not be in the minorities. Okay, like for example, I'll give you a very an example to which you will be able to relate. Like for example, on Valentine's Day, what happens? Young couples are beaten up and all that. Why so? Because we feel it is not part of our culture. Our culture is something completely different. The same material can be used for when we talk about modernism versus traditionalism, when we talk about whether Valentine's Day is a part of a culture or not, and the same points can be used here also, provided you know how to use them. Okay, now here this is a very nice paragraph from his essay, which immediately, see, he has not written about what is our culture, etc., but he has tried to put in many points which could have been covered with reference to cultural nationalism. Now let's move on to the next one, and he has not just talked about India. Okay, he has talked globally. He says in Europe, the influx of refugees forced many nations like United Kingdom, France to take a stand of cultural nationalism. Even in the United States, there is significant drift toward cultural nationalism by protecting their trade, job and interests. This can be attributed to global economic recession. With the slowdown of economy, every nation started thinking towards a narrow approach of cultural nationalism. Okay, very nice. He's even telling us what are the reasons behind it. There could be some more reasons which I will discuss in some other students' papers. Then he comes back to India. In India, with absolute majority to right-wing party, this became more frequent buzzword in the media, where one is trying to impose the ideology of a particular section as a nationalism, which is indeed against our core principle of freedom struggle. Integrity of our nation would be at stake if we tried to impose ideology as it happened in many parts of the world. See, so smartly, without naming any particular community or group, he has mentioned what is happening in India also. This political ideology, what is cultural nationalism? It is a political ideology. This political ideology around the world may exist for a time, but as time passes, one would realize true nationalism is respecting every nation, culture, religion and ideology. This can bring harmony and peace to the world. So on a positive note, as I always say, try to end things on a positive and hopeful note. So we have clearly written for him good for contents, because he talked about various things. He talks about why are people getting so glued to their culture, my culture is the best. Why are they doing all these kind of things? Because they fear that they might be dominated. At the same time, he talked about what is happening globally, different countries, what is happening in India, why is it in news, all those things are covered, current issues are covered, well, multiple points covered. This is the reason that he is the topper. See, without mentioning what exactly is our culture is different festivals, our culture is respect for elders, our culture is this, our culture is that. He has written a very nice essay. Congratulations Girish, well done. अब मैं आ जाती हूँ मनीष द्विवेदी जी के पेपर पर, और जो मनीष द्विवेदी हैं इनका जो पेपर है उसमें से कुछ एक सेक्शन हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा, इन्होंने हिंदी में लिखा है, वो सेक्शन मैं आपके लिए पढ़ देती हूँ। देखिए इनकी भी भाषा पर बहुत अच्छी पकड़ है, हालांकि लिखावट में कहीं हमें थोड़ी दिक्कत हो जाती है, पर फिर भी लिखावट भी आपकी अच्छी ही कहूंगी मैं। देखिए क्या लिखते हैं, सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद देश को महत्वपूर्ण ढंग से प्रभावित करता है। सकारात्मक प्रभावों की बात करें तो इससे एकता तथा राष्ट्र प्रेम की भावना का विकास होता है, साथ ही जागरूकता होने पर संस्कृति का भी विकास होता है। इस प्रकार राष्ट्रभक्ति तथा संस्कृति विकास एक साथ पिरो दिए जाते हैं। उपर्युक्त सकारात्मक प्रभावों के साथ इसके कुछ नकारात्मक प्रभाव भी देखे जा सकते हैं। सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद का झुकाव किसी धर्म विशेष की ओर होने पर कट्टरता तथा सांप्रदायिकता का माहौल बन सकता है, वहीं किसी जाति को सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद से जोड़ देने पर जातिवादी अलगाव की भावना को बल मिलता है। इस प्रकार अगर सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद को यदि गलत दिशा मिल जाए तो वह समाज को संगठित करने के स्थान पर विभाजित कर देती है। ये इनका जो पार्ट था पूरे ऐसे का, जहां उन्होंने इसकी अच्छी बातें और बुरी बातें बताई, वो हमें अच्छा लगा, इसलिए हमने आपके साथ वही शेयर किया है। आगे कहते हैं, इस प्रकार की नकारात्मक परिस्थितियों से बचने के लिए समाज के बुद्धिजीवियों को तथा नेतृत्वकर्ता समूह को विशेष प्रयत्न करने की आवश्यकता होती है। समाज को ऐसी दिशा की आवश्यकता होती है जिसमें आगे बढ़कर देश का एकीकरण हो, साथ शासन की नीतियां तथा शिक्षा प्रणाली ऐसी हो जिससे समाज में सहिष्णुता, सम्मान तथा समानता की भावना का विकास हो। और आखिर में इनका जो लास्ट पैराग्राफ है उसमें इन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से बताया कि अब इन समस्याओं का समाधान क्या है। इन समस्याओं का समाधान ये है, ये इनकी तरफ से सुझाव है, इसीलिए ये भी हमारे वन ऑफ द टॉपर्स हैं। वेरी गुड मनीष, आवर स्टूडेंट फ्रॉम रेवा इन मध्य प्रदेश, वेरी गुड। Now I am going to share with you some introductions. I am going to share some introductions with you so that you know exactly as to what was this topic. And see, I have always said in all my videos that your introduction needs to be very impressive. It is not necessary that to make it impressive you have to use very high flowing words, not so. I'm going to share some introductions with you where you will see that how this person has used different words, what has he said about the topic, and you will be able to learn a lot. This is Uday Pallavi's paper, and Uday Pallavi, I'm going to read her introduction, what she has written. She writes, she's a student from Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh, and she has been writing very regularly to us, and generally her papers are nice to read. We look forward to them. She says, cultural nationalism is a form of nationalism in which the nation is defined by a shared culture. It is an intermediate position between ethnic nationalism on one hand and civic nationalism on the other. It will focus on a national identity shaped by cultural traditions and by language, but not on the concepts of common race. So very well written, simple language used. See, sometimes you have to even define the topic. If you do not know what it is better that you don't define it at all, but she has defined it well. And here we got a lot of material picked up from the internet, and the moment we read it we knew that this is copy paste. Please don't do such things. They are not going to help you in the long run at all. Now I am going to share this student's paper with you. Why am I sharing his introduction with you? I am sharing his introduction with you for the simple reason that a lot of students for about 200 words in their essay. They kept talking about what is culture, what is culture, what is culture, and then finally they came to what is cultural nationalism. Sometimes you build up a very big background, a huge background, and then finally you come to the topic. I know you need a background before coming to the topic, but that the background should be short and small. Now I'm going to show you how this student, although he has not scored very well, Vivek Malik from Lucknow, the way he began and he immediately came into the topic. He says, India is a nation known for its culture all over the world, but ground reality is that we are on a path of destroying this image and losing our culture. Cultural nationalism means following our ancient culture and our values. Now this was incorrect. Now till here, see very nicely, after giving this introduction, he says India is a nation known for its culture all over the world. But the ground reality is that we are on a path of destroying this image. Now immediately after that, don't you think he could have written all the negative aspects of cultural nationalism? That why are we losing this? We are going to lose this identity simply because one particular community is trying to impose its practices on the other. All those kind of examples could have been given. So you needn't build up a very big background. See, if you are building up a very big background, what is going to happen? What is going to happen is that the relevant material which the examiner is looking for will be very short towards the end. Okay, so this is Vivek Malik's paper, and this is here it is the way he began. This is Arun Singh's paper. Arun Singh is from a student from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, and now let us see what he has written. He says cultural nationalism is a form of nationalism in which the nation is defined by a shared culture. A nation which gives its people all the joys of freely enjoying their cultures by accepting the diversity and sharing it with people of all cultures. The nationalism of such a culture is called cultural nationalism. This is the way he has begun. So, very nice, Arun. Now let's move on to the next student. Let us see his introduction. This is Kavita Prabhakar from Lucknow, UP. She says, she has begun with a quote of Gandhiji. She says, I don't expect India of my dreams to develop one religion, that is to be wholly Hindu or wholly Christian or wholly Muslim, but I want it to be wholly tolerant with its religion, working side by side with one another. This is a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. And then immediately you could have made a transition by saying, but is this quote true in the present context? Did Mahatma Gandhi's dream come true? And then you could have moved on to the topic immediately and write relevant things. There was no need for you to write so much background about what is our culture, because I saw this in most of the papers. Student focused upon what is our culture, big quotes that we welcome guests to our house, the whole world is family, all those kind of things coming in. But was it that which needed to be written? A part of it was needed, but not so much. This is Ramanand Prasad. Ramanand Prasad is also one of our students. He is from New Delhi, and I always look forward to his paper. Prenacle team always looks forward to his paper. He begins in a very different way. Now let's see what he has written. He writes, we have seen the emergence of right-wing nationalists across the world. Selection of Narendra Modi in India and then Donald Trump in USA validates this fact. Shall we consider these developments as an end of liberal nationalism and emergence of cultural nationalism? To answer this, let us first understand what is cultural nationalism. Do you think he has related it to the current news in any way? Or why this is in news? Yes, he has. Next he says, when diverse ethnic groups and different languages speaking groups come under an umbrella by adopting a common culture and language, keeping the native language as secondary, then it is called cultural nationalism. United States of America is a beautiful example of cultural nationalism. Their ethnic groups from all over the world come and accept their culture and language. So very nice beginning, Ramanand. Very good. Okay. Now let's move on to the next student. I'm sharing so many introductions with you so that you can learn something from them. This is Mayank Sharma. Mayank Sharma is our student from, he's written to us from Mukherjee Nagar in Delhi. Mukherjee Nagar in Delhi, and now let us see what he has written. He says, cultural nationalism generally refers to ideas and practices that relate to the intended revival of a purported national community's culture. If political nationalism is focused on the achievement of political autonomy, cultural nationalism is focused on the cultural cultivation of a nation. Here the vision of a nation is not a political organization but a moral community. As such, cultural nationalism sets out to provide a vision of the nation's identity, history and destiny. Very impressive. Cultural nationalism often occurs in the early phase of a national movement. Sometimes before political nationalism has appeared. The history of cultural nationalism begins in the late 18th century Europe. Several developments in the realms of idea, cultural and politics converge at this time. This section of his essay was very nice. Now I will move on to examples. I discussed so many introductions with you. Now I will move on to examples where students have given examples of cultural nationalism. And this is Debadi Dev's paper. He is from Kolkata, one of our students from Kolkata. And he has written about United States. Now let us see what he writes. Now I'm going to discuss examples, okay? United States of America is characterized by cultural nationalism. It boasts of immigrants from all over the world. It even had an Afro-American president and a white vice president. Soldiers belonging to different races fight together to save their nation. The country was founded on the principle of cultural nationalism and has provided opportunities to the meritorious who have adopted the American culture. Cultural nationalism is also characterized by a common language, as in USA. There are different races but they are unified by English. White and black soldiers fought together in 2 world wars against the Axis nations. Some of them were earlier inhabitants of Germany and Japan, but it is the feeling of cultural nationalism that helped them succeed in those wars. So this portion of his essay, you see, whenever there are so many students who mail us and ask us, what should I do to make my essay more interesting? Put in examples. Put in examples. There should be quite a few examples in your essay. There should be 1 or 2 or 3 at least interesting examples. If there is an example from the recent past, then try to put that into your essay so that we get to know that yes, this person has done his job well. Okay, so this was Debadi Dev's paper where he has written about America. Yes, and America is one of the best examples where people from all over the world go and then they accept the culture, the language of America and very well get assimilated into that culture. Okay, so very nice. This is Jyoti Chandra's paper, and Jyoti Chandra, here even he has given some very nice examples. What has Jyoti Chandra written? Let us see that and see in very brief, in a few lines only he has tried to convey a lot of things. In some countries, mainly in Islamic countries, the cultural nationalism is at its peak. They never welcome other culture to their nations. This has mainly impacted the women of these countries. The women are even tortured if found disobeying the culture. Yes, what are they trying to do? They are trying to impose their culture on people around. This is what is happening in many Muslim countries where there are Shias and Sunnis. There are battles and quarrels even between them. So this was one small paragraph from Jyoti Chandra's paper. This is S.R. Gupta's paper, and the reason for he's also one of our students from Lucknow, and S.R. Gupta has given a very nice example. We like this portion of his essay, and he has written that Gandhiji during the national movement, he could bring people from all castes, people from all creed together and create a mass movement. So he has given that example that people from different cultures, people from different backgrounds, even they can be brought together. This example was very nice. Let me read from here. On the other hand, as evident from history, how Gandhiji organized mass opposition against colonialism within the ambit of our culture, and they were as much nationalists as we are. Those who, irrespective of their cultural identity, are having abiding faith in the Constitution of India, or they see India as a place for them too, are nationalists. But anyhow, going away from the ethos of Constitution is something lack of nationalism. So very nice, Mr. Gupta. This was one section of your essay which we liked. Okay, now after discussing all these examples, let me read to you Gautam Teja from Guntur. He has written from Guntur. He is our student and from Andhra Pradesh, and one paragraph from his essay where he gave examples that was nice. Now he says it is good, cultural nationalism, it is good as long as it doesn't disturb the interests of other sections of society. In India, certain Hindu organizations like VHP, MNS feel that the Hindu culture is superior than all other cultures and they strongly believe that due to other religion culture their culture has been affected. They consider triple talaq, polygamy, women's modern lifestyle, wearing jeans, using mobile phones, multiplex culture, etc. are the reasons for erosion of their culture. Whenever there are beef killings, bomb blasts, they target minority sections in the name of protecting their culture and saving their country. So he has given plenty of examples here. This is Suyash Mishra's paper. Let me read this paragraph from his paper to you. One can find traces of cultural nationalism even in India, especially in non-Hindi speaking southern states and the northeastern states. Its existence gained prominence post-independence when the integration and reorganization of states happened. The people of these states demanded the states to be created on the lines of shared language, and language is a part of your culture. Next is Bharat Chauhan's paper. Okay, now I just shared with you examples, what people have given, what different students have written, and now I am going to share with you negatives. Okay, because cultural nationalism, why is it in news? It's in news because of the negativity involved in it, because one community tries to suppress the other community, or one country tries to dominate the other country, and people all across the world, when they are not welcoming foreigners to their country, when they do not want people from other countries to come to their country and take up jobs, all these things are in news. So we have to focus on why cultural nationalism is in news. Then we have to mention the negativities associated to it. Now let us talk about this paragraph of Bharat Chauhan, who's from Delhi. Bharat Chauhan says, India is a diversified country based on many cultures. Recent wave of Hindutva has made many people supporting domination of Hindu culture over others. No doubt these people love their country, but they are more proud of being a Hindu Indian and not just Indian. Recent incidences like beef banning, Ayodhya Ram Mandir issue, calling anti-Hindu as anti-nationalist show the impact of growing cultural nationalism in India. So this was one paragraph which we liked, and further after this paragraph he has even talked about Donald Trump, why he won elections. He has discussed that. This is Samir Dharekar, and there was one paragraph from Samir Dharekar's paper, and in a very small paragraph he has tried to cover multiple points. Okay, he can cover multiple points even in small lines. That was the strength of his paper. He says, but today this cultural aspect of nationalism got engulfed in the religious prism, narrowing our vision and thereby degenerating our associations, leading to sectarian clashes, anti-national sloganeering, which in the longer period is surely disastrous for our civilizations. It is the open secret today. Such anti-social activities are fueled by primarily politicians with ulterior motives and hidden agenda. So very nicely, briefly, he has covered it all. This is Prabhakar Pandey's paper. Okay, this is Prabhakar Pandey's paper, and Prabhakar Pandey, even one paragraph from his paper was very nice, where he has talked about the negative things. He says, I'm going to read from here, blind feeling of cultural superiority dwarfs the mind just as the Chinese woman's unnatural shoes compress and distort her feet. See, he has used this very well. In Chinese culture, small feet are considered beautifully, and women they are made to wear shoes much tighter for them than actually they are made to wear smaller shoes, okay, a smaller shoe size, so that their feet do not grow. In fact, they try everything to keep the feet small, because women with small feet are considered beautiful. But what happens in the long run? In the long run, the way she walks, and that is affected, and it's not something very healthy. So let's see here. He has used that example and used it very well. Blind feeling of cultural superiority dwarfs the mind, just as the Chinese woman's unnatural shoes compress and distort her feet. The kind of Hitler's nationalism, or today's ISIS's dream to establish an Islamic state throughout the world, shouldn't be the goal of any culture. This was very nice, because what is Hitler remembered for? Hitler is also remembered that he had excessive love for his own culture, his own people, to the extent that he wanted complete destruction of another community. Okay, so very nice example and very nicely put into his essay. Very good, Prabhakar. This was quite impressive. So here is a little star for you. This is Raman Sagwal. Raman Sagwal has written to us from Kaithal in Haryana. And Kaithal in Haryana, now let us see what he has talked about. I am going to discuss that with you. Kaithal from Haryana. Now he writes, cultural nationalism, though seen as a positive sentiment around the world, remains a controversial issue in India. In Gangetic Plains, there is a culture so different from Dravidian culture of South India. Northeast India has a distinct culture than Himalayan culture of North Indian hill states. Apart, religious minorities have their subcultures among the larger local cultures. Of course, tribals have their own distinct cultures practiced largely in off the main road territories. Then he says, in this situation, any effort of instilling a larger cultural nationalism on any part of India meets with severe backlash, popular as well as political. In Indian context, the secularism and pluralism has proved to be better for us instead of cultural nationalism. This was the concluding part. And he has written a very nice conclusion. That is the reason I am sharing his conclusion with you. Very, very well done. Now we have moved on to sharing the conclusions with you, and at the same time I would also like to share with you Shivansh's paper from Newtown, Kolkata, and Shivansh has written a very nice transition paragraph. Okay, the transition paragraph, that means he talked about the positivity of cultural nationalism, and then he's going to talk about the negativity, but in between the linking paragraph was very nice. As I always keep telling you that there should be a flow. Things should not seem as if they're coming up here and there, they're popping up. It shouldn't seem like that to us. It should seem as if you are moving on from one paragraph to the next, and there is a very nice and smooth transition and flow. Okay, so now let us see this. Linking culture to nationalism is fair to a certain extent. In fact, it acts as the driving force to preserve the uniqueness of a nation. But when following one's culture becomes the only parameter to prove one's nationalism, then the problem starts arising. Very nice, Shivansh. Well, this one paragraph of yours was very impressive, and as I always tell you, try to make something at least. If you say that, ma'am, I couldn't remember anything, I couldn't write anything, there should be at least something in your whole essay which is outstanding, which is going to raise the level of your essay. So this was your paragraph which raised the level of your essay, Shivansh. Very good. This is Vikram Sharma's paper, and Vikram Sharma, this student, he has, I'm going to read one paragraph from his essay to you, Vikas Sharma, and there was one paragraph where, which was very different. I didn't find such a paragraph in other, because in this, he had talked about what is the reason, why do people become so insecure and start thinking that their culture is the best. He says, cultural nationalism arises when radical forces fear for their survival. They think that by disguising cultural nationalism in the form of nationalism, they can rule over the country. This is going to be they bring fear in the minds of people that their country's survival, its culture would be in danger if they didn't awake culturally. When Hitler wanted to control and rule over the world, he used Nazi card to awaken Germany. This is going to be awaken Germany culturally. But at the same time, we have to look at the Indian nationalism, which is a blend of ancient values plus modern liberal thoughts. During freedom struggle, it laid equal emphasis on both idol worship, etc., but at the same time discarded old values, sati pratha, bal vivah, etc. Now, first and foremost, till he has covered it from a very different angle as to why do people become insecure, but then I have given a various comments on his paper like do not underline, do not use Hindi words, etc. This is Sanjay Maurya from Banaras in UP. Sanjay Maurya ने हमें बनारस यूपी से लिखा है और इनका ये पार्ट जो है इनके ऐसे का ये बहुत अच्छा था, ये मैं आपके लिए पढ़ देती हूँ. इन्होंने लिखा, किसी देश के विकास के लिए राष्ट्रवाद तो ठीक है, लेकिन सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद सही नहीं है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर अलग अलग धर्म अपने को श्रेष्ठ बताने की कोशिश करते हैं. जैसे आरएसएस जो कहता है कि हिंदू धर्म श्रेष्ठ है और धर्मों से, लेकिन देश के विकास के लिए सभी का समावेशी विकास जरूरी है. ये इनका बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे. We are talking about conclusions now. What have people said in their conclusion? I would like to read that out to you now, because I discussed the introductory part, I discussed transition paragraphs, examples I discussed with you. Now let me even read out some concluding portions to you, which were very nice. This is our student from Tamil Nadu. Very nice and very well he has written. He writes, nationalism without culture, clemency and compassion leads to debacle which we can see from Hitler's Nazism, Mussolini's fascism and Osama's fanaticism. To conclude, nationalism is an outfit everyone should wear, whereas culture, clemency, compassion, etc. should be the soul and breath of the people. If we understand these differences, work on, we will not only strive but thrive. Even the God Almighty is against us. Okay, but in his overall essay he did not cover the negative points, but his concluding part was very, very nice. He has tried to put things in a positive way. Let me discuss one more conclusion with you. This is Krishna Bhaskar from Delhi. Let me read this part. The concluding part was very nice. However, there is always a risk involved in welcoming people from other countries with open hands. Revoking rights and blocking people from certain countries, as Mr. Trump did recently, might not be an absolution. Instead, proper rules must be in place to check the miscreants who try using the open door policy and liberal rules as an entry pass to enter a foreign country with a bad intention to hurt its integrity. I have included this portion because see, even in the concluding part, the student has very nicely referred to the recent developments. Very nicely, and even the suggestions which are given are very nice suggestions. So very good, Krishna. I like this portion of your paper. Now let me discuss some letters with you. I discussed plenty of essays so that you know now what was the topic, where you went wrong. You can compare it with the toppers, you can learn from the toppers. And now let me discuss some letters with you. ये अभिषेक जैन का पेपर है. अभिषेक जैन क्या लिखते हैं, आइए हम ये देखते हैं. यहाँ पर इन्होंने भेजने वाले का पता, तिथि, फिर जिसको लिखा गया है उनको लिखा, विषय कॉलेज में आयोजित सेमिनार में सुरक्षा मुहैया कराने के संबंध में. महोदय, मैं विकास कुंज में स्थित संजीवनी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी एंड मैनेजमेंट कॉलेज का प्राचार्य हूँ. हम अपने कॉलेज में प्रतिवर्ष वार्षिक समारोह या सेमिनार का आयोजन कराते हैं तथा हर वर्ष उस समारोह का एक निश्चित विषय होता है. इस वर्ष भी हमने कॉलेज परिसर में दिनांक 15 मार्च 2017 को एक समारोह का आयोजन किया है जिसका मुख्य विषय सेक्स शिक्षा है. इस विषय का उद्देश्य युवाओं में सेक्स संबंधित शिक्षा देना व उनको जागरूक करना है. अनेक कॉलेज के छात्र इसमें प्रतिभाग ले रहे हैं तथा अपने अपने नजरिए से जागरूकता फैलाने का प्रयास करेंगे. परंतु पिछले 2 दिनों से मुझे राष्ट्रभक्ति नामक कट्टरपंथी संगठन से धमकियां मिल रही हैं। वे इस आयोजन को अश्लीलता व असभ्य करारते हुए इसे न आयोजित करने की सलाह दे रहे हैं, अन्यथा वे समारोह में बाधा डालने का प्रयत्न करेंगे। अतः आपसे विनम्र निवेदन है कि उक्त तिथि को समारोह के सफलतापूर्वक आयोजन हेतु पुलिस सुरक्षा मुहैया कराएं। आपकी अति कृपा होगी। धन्यवाद, अभिषेक जैन। ये इनका लेटर है और बहुत ही अच्छा इन्होंने लिखा हुआ है। और इसके बाद मैं आपके साथ एक और लेटर शेयर करना चाहूंगी, और ये जो लेटर मैं आपके साथ शेयर करना चाह रही हूँ ये है प्रियंका पांडे का। प्रियंका पांडे हमारी स्टूडेंट है झांसी उत्तर प्रदेश से, और हिंदी ओवरऑल जितने भी लेटर्स हमें मिले उनमें ये ओवरऑल टॉपर हैं। गिरीश जो थे वो हमारे ऐसे के टॉपर थे, और प्रियंका जो है ये हमारी लेटर के टॉपर हैं। अब देखिए, भेजने वाला एक प्रिंसिपल है, तो ये देखिए एड्रेस बिल्कुल सही बनाया गया है, बुंदेलखंड विश्वविद्यालय झांसी, कानपुर रोड, झांसी। आगे दिनांक 11 मार्च 2017। सेवा में पुलिस आयुक्त, पुलिस स्टेशन झांसी। सेक्स शिक्षा पर सेमिनार में सुरक्षा हेतु आवेदन पत्र। श्रीमान, बुंदेलखंड विश्वविद्यालय सदैव ही अपनी जिम्मेदारियों का निर्वहन करते हुए आवश्यक कार्यक्रम आयोजित कराता रहा है। इसी दिशा में सेक्स शिक्षा की महत्वता को समझाने के लिए सेमिनार आयोजित किया जा रहा है। वर्तमान में लिंगानुपात में कमी, लैंगिक भेदभाव, बढ़ती जनसंख्या जैसे कई सामाजिक मुद्दों पर जागरूकता बढ़ाने की आवश्यकता है। उपरोक्त के संबंध में सेक्स शिक्षा पर सेमिनार एक कदम होगा विद्यार्थियों को जागरूक बनाने हेतु। अतः बुंदेलखंड विश्वविद्यालय प्रांगण ये 18 मार्च 2017 दिन रविवार को प्रातः 9 बजे से 12 बजे तक सेमिनार का कार्यक्रम सुनिश्चित हुआ, किंतु कुछ कट्टरपंथी संगठन समारोह को बाधित करना चाहते हैं। मुझे इस संबंध में कल एक अपरिचित आईडी से ईमेल भी प्राप्त हुआ है। मान्यवर, आपसे अनुरोध है कि समारोह के सफल आयोजन हेतु उचित सुरक्षा मुहैया कराई जाए। समस्त शिक्षक एवं विद्यार्थी आपकी सहायता हेतु आभारी रहेंगे। सकारात्मक प्रतिक्रिया की उपेक्षा में सधन्यवाद। भवदीय मनोज गुप्ता, प्रधानाचार्य। बहुत ही अच्छा लिखा हुआ। देखिए, आप में से बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स जिन्होंने ये पत्र लिखा वो बताना भूल गए कि समारोह कब है, समारोह कहाँ है। लिखना था कॉलेज के प्रिंसिपल को, लिख दिया स्कूल के प्रिंसिपल ने। ध्यान पूर्वक पढ़ें, हड़बड़ाएं नहीं, सारी चीजें ठीक होंगी। वेरी गुड प्रियंका, आपका लेटर जो है ये हाईएस्ट स्कोरिंग लेटर था। एक और स्टूडेंट का आपके लिए लेटर पढ़ती हूं मैं, हरीश नागर। ये लिखते हैं हमें कोटा राजस्थान से लिखते हैं। अब मैं इनका लेटर आपके लिए पढ़ती हूँ। महाराजा कॉलेज, जयपुर। दिनांक ये है इनका। श्रीमान पुलिस आयुक्त महोदय, पुलिस मुख्यालय, गांधी रोड, जयपुर। विषय, महाविद्यालय में आयोजित सेमिनार हेतु सुरक्षा मुहैया कराने के संदर्भ में माननीय राष्ट्र के भविष्य निर्माण में औपचारिक शिक्षा के साथ साथ नैतिक, व्यवहारिक एवं सेक्स शिक्षा भी महत्वपूर्ण है। इस हेतु महाविद्यालय में एक सेमिनार का आयोजन किया जा रहा है, जिसमें देश के प्रसिद्ध डॉक्टर्स, इनका डॉक्टर्स मुझे जरा डाउटफुल लगा, एवं आयुर्विज्ञान महाविद्यालय के प्रोफेसर विद्यार्थी जीवन में आलोक प्रदान करेंगे। परंतु इस सेमिनार में सेक्स शिक्षा की घोषणा के बाद कुछ कट्टरपंथी संगठनों द्वारा कई तरह की धमकियां आने लगी हैं तथा कल महाविद्यालय के सामने कुछ उपद्रवियों ने दहशत का माहौल भी बनाया। पुलिस ही समाज में कानून एवं आदर्शों की स्थापना का माध्यम है एवं आपका ध्येय वाक्य भी है। अपराधियों में डर, आमजन में विश्वास। अतः 15 मार्च 2017 को आयोजित सेमिनार में पुलिस सुरक्षा उपलब्ध करवाकर महाविद्यालय प्रशासन का सहयोग करें। धन्यवाद। और यहाँ पर इन्होंने इसको फिर खत्म किया। वैसे आपको एडवाइजेबल है कि आपको सलाह है, ये मशवरा है आपको कि इस तरह की जो महत्वपूर्ण चीजें हैं, जैसे तिथि हुई, कहाँ होगा, कितने बजे होगा, ये सारी चीजें एडवाइजेबल है कि आप शुरुआत में ही मेंशन कर दें। क्योंकि एग्जामिनर को जनरली गाइडलाइंस दी जाएंगी कि आपको ये चीजें ढूंढनी है, ये चीजें देखनी है, इनके आधार पर आपको अंक देने हैं। ठीक है, तो ये बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे इनका, हरीश नागर। Now I am going to share with you Amit Singh's paper. Amit Singh has written from Patna in Bihar. Patna in Bihar, and he wrote beautifully. His address was in place, receiver's address, sender's address, subject, salutation, everything was in place, but he made a blunder. And what is that blunder? Let us see. This portion, I'm going to read the latter part of the body to you, which was nice. He says, in the land of Vatsyan, it pains me to point out that sex education has been pregnated with narrow sectarian views, and the result is that sex education is seen as taboo in our circles. With growing concerns over STD, we wished to change the narratives, and so we plan to organize a seminar on sex education, since we were of a view that no education is futile and harmful. But repeated threats from radicalized institutions have shaken our will. So, sir, with this letter of mine, I request you to take cognizance of the matter against the miscreants. Since violence instills fear and there will be women in attendance, I hope these radicals are dealt with and no knowledge is forced to be kept secret. Very nicely he wrote, he used a whitener and everything, but what is the blunder? The blunder is he didn't mention venue, date and time. When I wanted to give him a good for the language he has used, for the words he has used, for the various reasons why the seminar needs to be organized, I was reluctant. And why was I reluctant? Because you forgot to mention venue, date and time. Quite a few students forgot to mention this. Please, before you begin, plan. What are the things you have to plan? You have to plan the sender's address. If he is the principal of a college, the address should be of the principal of a college. It cannot be some vague house number this, street number this. It cannot be like that. You have to plan the sender's address. Besides, you need to plan what all I need to include in this. Some of the students, they wrote beautifully by saying that organizing this seminar is a part of our curriculum, or organizing this seminar, there are guidelines from the university that we need to organize it, or our college has been chosen to organize this seminar. Those kind of reasons were given. Very nicely some of the students have written, but make sure that you include the relevant information. Don't leave this out. It shows lack of planning that you just started writing. Okay, sometimes you write invitation letters and you forget to mention the date. You forget to mention the date, when is one supposed to come, what is the venue, etc. You forget these things. These are going to be suicidal. So make sure all necessary and important information has been included. And this was Amit Singh from Patna in Bihar. Amit, you made an effort by using whitener and everything. I could make out that the student has put an effort, but why did you miss out these important points? Okay, all the best. I wish you all the best. This was the last part of the video and I hope you do well. My good wishes are with you. Thank you. Bye bye.